everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today we're going to be setting up my bullet journal for the month of August. This month I decided to switch it up a little bit, and I am going to be telling you about the books that I read in July while setting this up. I will link some similar setups as far as just like general layout in the description box, so if you want to know more specifics about how I did this type of setup, you can check that out and let me know if you enjoy this format of a combo of me telling you about the books that I read and setting up my bullet journal, or if you prefer them to be separate. We're going to try it out for this month because in the month of July, I only read 3 books, which is okay. Sometimes you don't read a ton of books, and that's fine. We were really busy. We moved, which if you're curious about that, I did make a video and I will link it in the cards so you can see that, but yeah, things have been crazy. It's been super busy. So I did not have a ton of time to read. And honestly, I was also just kind of in a reading slump. But in spite of that, I did read some really good books this month. All 3 of the books that I read were total wins for me. So let's talk about them. The first book that I read was Some Kind of Happiness by Claire Legrand. I gave this a 5-star. It is a middle grade about a young girl who has depression and does not understand what it is or how to grapple with the feelings that she's feeling. She is sent to stay with her grandparents for a summer while her parents try to decide if they're going to get a divorce. And while she is going through all of these emotions, she creates an imaginary world in the forest to help her understand how she feels. There's some neighborhood rivalry, there's family drama. I really enjoyed this book. Even though it is a middle grade, I think that it's definitely something that you can enjoy as an adult. And I think this is something I would definitely let my children read when they're older because, you know, it has good messages and it helps you have empathy and understand how other people feel. And so that is just something that I think is important. And I really enjoyed this one. It definitely made me cry. So just keep that in mind, I guess, when you go into it, that it's a little bit of a tearjerker, but it was really good. The next book that I read was Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. I also gave this one a 5-star, totally different vibe from Some Kind of Happiness. This one is about a guy who is narrating. His name is Ernest, and him and his family go to a little family reunion at a ski resort, and people die and things happen, and it is narrated by like each chapter is one family member and then talks about like who they've killed, how they've killed them, and it's not everyone is like what you would think, and how like you know it's not always what you think. But I really loved this one. I really enjoyed the narrative voice. I thought it was very entertaining, and I was really interested in Ernest's story and kind of his backstory, where he was coming from, and you know why he had to say the things that he did. And I just really enjoyed the narrative voice, but then I also really enjoyed the mystery, and I wanted to know what was happening, and there was twists and there was things that I didn't see coming, and I was really intrigued the entire time. So that was Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. The last book that The last book that I read in the month of July was Ascension by Nicholas Binge. I was kind of nervous to read this one because I've seen, you know, people on Bookstagram and BookTube reading it, and not very many people have seemed to enjoy it, and so I was kind of nervous, but it sounded like something that would be intriguing to me. And I'm really glad that I ended up reading it because I gave it a 4-star. So this book is a speculative thriller, I guess, about a mountain that just appears in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and no one knows why, and it's covered in snow, and you're following a scientist who is a physicist, and he's been asked to come with other scientists to try and figure out this mountain, and things are being kept from them, and they don't really know who they're working for or with, and it was just insane. I really enjoy weird sci-fi. I like weird books, and I really enjoy this kind of speculative genre. It reminded me a little bit of Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer, which I also really enjoyed. And I just like when you don't know what's happening and neither do the characters and you're all just kind of there and then weird things just keep happening. So yeah, I really liked this one. The reason that I knocked it down a star, well, there's a few reasons I knocked it down a star. First reason was it was a little bit unnecessary with the amount that it swore. I don't mind a swear word here and there, but when it's all the time, it can be kind of annoying and I think kind of unnecessary. So that was kind of a reason why I didn't love it. Also, the book is written as letters to the man's niece, and some of the things that he described would not be something that an uncle would say to a niece, and if he did, he should go to jail. Just not really appropriate. So that kind of took me out of the story a few times, because I was like, hold on, aren't you saying this to your niece? Why would you say that? Anyway, the last thing that made me knock it down a star was that the one character who is Christian and has strong Christian beliefs was seen as kind of the crazy person and was mocked and made fun of for believing in God. And as a Christian myself, it's just not something I really appreciated, because I was like, that's just kind of unnecessary. And I think that would be true of any religion. If it was a Jewish person and they were being mocked for their beliefs, or a Muslim person and they were being mocked for their beliefs, I would think the same thing, because I think that I don't think that you should make fun of someone or mock someone or invalidate somebody just because they're religious. I think that that's not okay, not cool. And so that was just kind of something that made me not like it as much. But it was a smaller part of the story. It wasn't overwhelming, which is why I was still able to give this book a 4-star, because overall I really enjoyed the setting and the atmosphere, and it made me feel like I was on the edge of my seat. I wanted to know what was happening, and I read it really quickly, and I kept wanting to go back to it, which really was helpful for me, because like I said, I've been kind of in a reading slump for a while now, and even now into August I'm still feeling a little bit slumpy and I would like to get out of it because I love reading, but that just happens sometimes, especially when life gets busy. So yeah, those were the 3 books that I read in the month of July. I'm hoping to read more in August, but I'm not going to pressure myself, and if I don't read a ton of books in August, that's okay, and I'll just read what I want to, and hopefully I enjoy them. I will say that the book I'm reading so far in August, I am enjoying. It's Hunt, Gather, Parent by Michaeline, let's see, how do you say it? Duclef, I think is how you say her last name. And it is very interesting so far, so you'll have to stick around to see if I end up liking it. But yeah, that's how it's going, and I am enjoying it. So enjoy the last couple of minutes of me setting up this theme. I'll leave you to the music, and let me know if you've read any of these books, if you liked them. If you did not like them, I would really love to know why, just because I think that's really interesting. And if you have any book recommendations for me, I will always take them, because I need to get out of this reading slump. So I will see you guys in the next video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the setup.